I would say you are probably the most referenced person that's never been on the show before.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't know you by name, but I did grow up watching a lot of the stuff you made.
Somebody's actually got in the pace car and stole it.
It's hard not to hear your name now in some of these episodes. To have you here with us today is pretty exciting.
Together, both slide to the outside wall.
Across the finish line, I said, I'm done with you. we're even. I won't do whatever the I want now.
There's plenty of biographies and documentaries and whatnot on Juan Fangio, your uncle. What do you think some of the fun stories are?
Across the finish line, I said, I'm done with you. we're even. I won't do whatever the I want now.
There's plenty of biographies and documentaries and whatnot on Juan Fangio, your uncle. What do you think some of the fun stories are that we would hear about if we were sitting here with him?
I would say you are probably the most referenced person that's never been on the show before.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't know you by name, but I did grow up watching a lot of the stuff you made.
Somebody's actually got in the pace car and stole it.
It's hard not to hear your name now in some of these episodes. To have you here with us today is pretty exciting.
Together, both slide to the outside wall. Dickinson him trickle right through victory lane.
One of the things we try to do with our show is to talk about legacy. What would you hope they take away as your legacy?
I don't know. I'm just dedicated to do it. I don't know why. Frankly, I truly don't know.
I think it'd be, we had a small group of people from Indianapolis and built a car with an Oldsmobile.
Tony, come on, lost it, got up high in the marbles. You're now a winner of the Indianapolis 500, my friend. Great job, Tony.
Across the finish line, I said, I'm done with you. we're even. I won't do whatever the I want now.
There's plenty of biographies and documentaries and whatnot on Juan Fangio, your uncle. What do you think some of the fun stories are that we would hear about if we were sitting here with him?
I would say you are probably the most referenced person that's never been on the show before.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know you by name, but I did grow up watching a lot of the stuff you made.
Somebody's actually gone to the pace car and stole it.
It's hard not to hear your name now in some of these episodes. To have you here with us today is pretty exciting.
Together, both slide to the outside wall. Eckerson him trickle right through victory lane.
One of the things we try to do with our show is to talk about legacy. What would you hope they take away as your legacy?
I don't know. I'm just dedicated to do it. I don't know why. Frankly, I truly don't know.
I think it'd be, we had a small group of people from Indianapolis and built a car with an Oldsmobile.
To touch our hearts of gold.
Across the finish line, I said, I'm done with you. we're even. I won't do whatever the I want now.
There's plenty of biographies and documentaries and whatnot on Juan Fangio, your uncle. What do you think some of the fun stories are that we would hear about if we were sitting here with him?
I would say you are probably the most referenced person that's never been on the show before.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know you by name, but I did grow up watching a lot of the stuff you made.
Somebody's actually gone to the pace car and stole it.
It's hard not to hear your name now in some of these episodes. To have you here with us today is pretty exciting.
Together, both slide to the outside wall. Emerson hit trickle right through victory lane.
One of the things we try to do with our show is to talk about legacy. What would you hope they take away as your legacy?
I don't know. I'm just dedicated to do it. I don't know why, frankly. I truly don't know.
I think it'd be, we had a small group of people from Indianapolis and built a car with an Oldsmobile.
Tony, come on, lost it, got up high in the marbles. You're now a winner of the Indianapolis 500, my friend. Great job, Tony.
Across the finish line, I said, I'm done with you. we're even. I won't do whatever the I want now.
All right. In theory, we are live. I don't know if we are, but I'm going to say we are and hope for the best. So, plenty of biographies and documentaries and whatnot on Fangio, your uncle.
This
What do
is
you think some of the
Thursday
fun
Night Blunder,
stories are
Dinner with Racers.
we would hear about if
I'm
we were
Sean
sitting here
Heckman, and
with
with me is Ryan Eversley. We are at the hills of Bathurst with the old Rose Light, otherwise known as Jumpy Trucks. And we are back, basically after a year off of some Thursday Night Blunder action. So, Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm really good, actually. It's the off season, so I've got some time to train. I've got. Time
I would
to kinda
say
knock
you
out
are
some of the goals I want
probably the most
away from
referenced
motorsports and
person that's
we
never been
just
on the show
launched a
before.
bunch of podcasts
To be
that we're
honest,
really
I
happy
didn't
with.
know you by name,
And honestly,
but I
was
did grow
looking
up
forward to this
watching
all week
a lot of the
because,
stuff you made.
We haven't done one of these in a while, and obviously
Somebody's actually gone to the pace car and stole it.
It's hard not to
these
hear your
races are
name
always
now
so
in some of these episodes.
chaotic
To have you
and I
here
end
with
up
us
laughing
today is pretty
at
exciting.
that.
Together, both slide to the outside wall. Emerson hit trickle right through victory lane.
Near Los Angeles. And we are sort of watching our fans race. So this is kind of an interesting deal. Like we just said, we've been off basically for the year. on the broadcasting Ryan and Sean's side. But
one of the things we try to do with our show is to talk about legacy. What would you hope they take away as your legacy?
Because of our fans. We basically, as time has gone on and
I don't know. I'm just dedicated to do it. I don't know why, frankly. I truly don't know.
Professional driving career and the stuff that I do outside of this.
I think it'd be, we had a small group of people
we wanted to
from
continue the series
Indianapolis
with fans, but
and built a car
handle it.
with an
And so we
Oldsmobile.
asked the fans if they wanted to keep going over the year, and they did, and that's what this is now. So basically, there's been a year-long Thursday Night Blunder fan-run league, and there's been a series of races and points and wins and all kinds of tallies that they've built up to make it to next week's final. Next week will be the last run of the year to declare the Thursday Night Blunder World Champion. And this is the LCQ, Last Chance Qualifier. So basically, a whole bunch of people are already in next week's final. We've been running all year. And what we are doing is dictating who's going to be first in the field. Forgive the people that are just kind of coming through. With us is, well, first of all, let's Ryan, let's hear your
Across the finish line, I said, I'm done with you. we're even. I won't do whatever the I want now.
There's plenty of biographies and documentaries and whatnot on Juan Fangio, your uncle. What do you think some of the fun stories are that we would hear about if we were sitting here with him?
Absolutely. I always love doing these races. The fans that race and partake in this are serious, and we always have a lot of fun. And right now, I'm first, so I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
Well, good man.
Yeah.
So
I
also,
have to thank
go ahead.
all these guys that gave me their setup, though.
Yeah, you take what you can get.
Did you actually hit people up for help?
Yeah, right away. I was like, John Cantu, why am I 4 seconds off you? Can you please help me with my setup? Yeah, here I use the road race setup. Oh, I was way off. I am not a genius when it comes to the setup, Ryan. On the jumpy
maybe
trucks.
on the video games. In real life, I'd say I disagree, but maybe
yeah,
on the,
but this
on the
is
video
not
game.
this is not real life.
How dare you?
How dare me?
How dare you? This is a
Mark,
simulation.
have you done a Baja thing or anything like?
No, I would love
truck?
to. I've done dirt fish with all my buddies.
Yeah.
With CJ Wilson, brought us all out to dirt fish. We did a bunch of dirt fish stuff, and that was awesome. My wife's a co-driver in rally, in ARA, and NASA, and stuff like that. So, still haven't done a rally. So, I'm actually looking forward to. I'm gonna do the 74 at the 74 Ranch.
Yeah.
And that's the first time. I've been invited like 5 or 6 years in a row and haven't gone. So Tav and I are going to go down there and actually be off-roading. It should be fun.
Now, Sean and I were actually invited this year to the 74, and we had to politely decline because Spencer Pompelli is turning 50 on the same day, and
No
he had
way.
already extended. Yeah, we're going on a little trip. Yeah, we're going up to the mountains. It's like a whole thing.
You're not doing a cruise? That's what the old people do when they turn 50. Is they go on a cruise. Spencer doesn't want to go on a cruise.
Funny enough, Lally loves cruises.
Yeah.
I could see Pompelli hating the whole thing.
Not impossible.
Like Lindsay would be cool with it. The kids would love it. And Spence would be like, "What are we? Why would we?" Yeah, no.
Spencer, why are you so hard to please, dude?
Well, he's just so he can't not be Spencer, So he starts picking things apart. He's got a lot of ideas. Smart guy. But we had already committed to his birthday extravaganza, and Bill Riley, who was happy to deliver the message, like, "Hey, you guys are invited to this." When we said, "Hey, we got to go to a birthday party," he's like, "Really?" Like he was not okay with it. And then we put him. We were going, "Well, what if we committed to you and then bailed?" And he was like, "Oh, all right, respect."
Yeah.
So,
Trust me, I've got the really almost 300 days out of the year from that guy. Really?
Right.
All right. So we got Jacob on the Zoom call here. Jacob, you there?
Yep, I got.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
all right.
I got
Let's get some full screen, Jacob. Oh, no, we're not because you're in portrait mode. All right. So, Jacob, we've been doing a fan league all year, and by we mean you've been basically running it because Ryan and I have done F all. So tell us about this season-long run that you've been doing, and how is the championship kind of looking?
Year first. So let me pull up our league. So we had a spring season as well as a fall winter season that this last 2 race stretch is concluding. I believe maybe John won, but let me pull up our lovely little league here. Actually, no, that's not it. Hold on. We're almost there.
No worries. Anyway. All right. So apparently, again, we haven't done this in a year. So apparently we had some of our preview background music running the whole time. In theory, it should be fixed now. So let us know in the comments if we're fixed. But yeah, these are the kind of mistakes that we're going to make, which is why we've been a little bit low key about the promo of this event, because we didn't know how bad it would look. But anyway, so while you're looking,
I'm here.
Yep, there we go. So Jacob, you've been doing an excellent job running this all year. So how did it go? Honestly, Ryan and I, we've seen the Twitter posts and the Instagram posts, but we've obviously not been that involved. So how'd you guys enjoy it? We're kind of doing a fan run deal.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought we had some pretty good participation for a weekly fan series. Justin, Art Reimer, and Douglas Waite were the first 3 of our championship for the fall series that we ran. So I thought it was a lot of fun. We did a lot of interesting races. Some of them were not, honestly, very much fun. But which is that you get sometimes some of the races got a little strung out, or the card track combo wasn't great. But for the most part, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun racing with a lot of the regulars. You make some good friends, so it was a lot of fun, I think, for most of us.
Nice. All right. Well, you mentioned getting strung out, and that is unfortunately one of the downsides of any sort of road racing if you do it right. But that's why we have with us this week our admin, who's been our admin for years now, Tyler Newitt. Who, Tyler, you're also driving, because if there's one thing I know, it's the race steward. Driving is always a good call. And Tyler's going to be out there with us. I don't know if you can hear us on Discord or not.
Yep, I got you, Sean.
There you are. And
sorry, I was just going through a corner.
All good. Ryan, you can hear Tyler all right?
Oh, yeah. And what's funny about these events for me, and I think you're the same way, Sean, although I know you keep up with it a bit more than I do. I saw Tyler's name on when we were setting up the audio about, half an hour ago. I was like, oh, Tyler knew it. You know what I mean? It's almost like
that's
seeing
that guy, right?
Yeah, right. I'm like, I know that guy. You know what I mean? And same thing, like Mark said, oh, I got John Cantu help me with setup. I was like, Doggington! You know. So to me, it's kind of funny that our competitors, to me, are like pro racers, because I'm always seeing their names in the emails.
Yeah. So anyway, Tyler, you're going to be doing the admin work, and it's going to be just like we do all year, or have done every year. How's the field looking? Are we going to see some yellows?
I think that's entirely up to you. I mean, the weather, Sean.
If, debris
starts raining debris, then we'll just have to throw one.
Ryan, you're the experienced driver. You've driven similar kinds of trucks in the past. What do you think?
We're definitely going to see yellows. The thing about these trucks, the shock mounts are really exposed. So if you ding into a wall, it'll actually just make the thing crab like crazy. So one of my favorite stories about doing the stadium super trucks and the Continental Tire truck was Casey Mears in front of me slammed into a wall at Toronto. It bent the shock mount. So every time he's jumping off the ramp, the thing's like kicking completely sideways, and he can't do anything about it.
Oh.
And after the race, I was like, dude, what's up with that? He's like, I don't know. And he just wasn't phased at all. I was like, okay, you guys are different. So a lot of fun to watch these dudes. Obviously, track limits aren't going to exist, and seeing the creative side of the racing is what we look forward to.
Exactly. So anyway, Jacob, it sounds like we're taking 30 people in from this LCQ to the final. What qualified people for the final leading up to this point? Great answer.
So
there we go.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was on mute. No. So if you were in the top 10 or a race winner from the fall series, you were an automatic qualifier.
Ah, okay. So any names stand out from the deal? You obviously.
Yep, I made it. I think John made it.
John Cantu.
John Cantu made it. Doug Waite, Art Reimer. So a lot of our regulars.
Our normal cast of characters. That's awesome. All right. Well, it sounds like, is this qualifying? Are we going now?
Yes, we are. Oh boy, we're in qualifying.
Multitasking skills.
Yeah, all good. All right. Well, let's. So we've also got Jonathan with us, who's running the cameras. Jonathan, when you get a chance, let's take a look at some onboards here. Let's see what we're looking at through these eyes of these trucks. So Ryan, you've driven a very similar style of truck. Several years ago, you drove in the Stadium Super Truck Series. It's famously known with Robbie Gordon on a Continental Tire sponsored truck. How do you think, you've obviously never driven Bathurst, but you know the sport. How do you think these kind of trucks should fare here?
It's going to be a shit show. I mean, the uphill run from turn 1 all the way down to, it's like turn 3 or whatever. That's a long straightaway. So the draft in these things is pretty big because they punch a giant hole. The draft's so big in the Stadium Super Trucks that they have a rule that if you knock the hood off, you lose like 4 positions or something.
Oh, wow.
So they really do punch a big hole. But then once you get into the high-speed S's stuff, it's not a tire that's meant for pavement racing. So it's going to come down to who can really finesse the high-speed, part of the track. And then the downhill S's, which Andy Lally famously did on the street luge a bunch of years ago. If you can maximize the track length, like use all the road but not hit those walls and scrape the thing up, you're going to get the big run coming out. So by far one of my favorite tracks. Obviously never raced there, but I look forward to the Bathurst races on YouTube every year.
Nice. All right. And we are literally on board. Well, we were on board with Jacob there. Now we're on board with John Cantu. So Jacob, who's faring well so far? It looks like Mark Miller's had some good times. Actually, let's see if we can get to Mark Miller on board. Mark, you can coach us through what you're doing here.
Well, I'm going straight real fast as this will go. You don't really use a lot of brake in this thing because, as Ryan said, it's a momentum.
Yep.
3 speeds, and there's not a lot of gear shifting, so it's kind of like a really tall Spec Miata right now.
Nice. All right. Well, Mark, we're riding on board, so kind of walk us through what you're up to.
Well, I'm turning left right now. Then I'm about to be turning right. This is all the uphill. This is probably one of the tougher sections because it builds up speed all the way through to the peak of the hill.
Copy.
I'm sitting here towing Tyler Newitt around. You're welcome, Tyler. Give me a little push. But the tough thing about qualifying is you don't want to be collecting any 1Xs. In practice, we're using up a lot of the track. But if you clip too much of the curb here through the downhill and you get the 1X, then all that work is for naught. You definitely don't want to be hitting any of the walls down here, but you want to maintain as much rolling speed as possible. As you can see, I gapped Tyler a little bit in the twisty bits, but it's not going to matter for the downhill because it's going to catch me in using the draft. This is the toughest part, is coming off that tight corner because it can really ruin your run down the hill, and it's like what feels like a 10-mile straightaway. So if you clip that wall or you run a little wide and you can't get the power right away, you kind of suffer. So this is such an important part of the track.
Ryan, does this feel too serious?
Give me a little push here. No, you're not going by. No.
All right. So we're qualifying Jacob. I don't know if you're on with this. I don't know how long the session is. Jacob has really done all the work setting all this up. So
Yeah.
all kudos to him for doing the hard work here. But not quite sure how long this session is.
We have about another 4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. And
So, Mark,
go ahead.
is that your MX-5 livery?
No, this is the. My son and I like to mess around with the Traxxas trucks.
Yeah.
So this is just one of the trucks that we have. But I did notice someone had my Trans Am livery on.
Oh, cool.
And I'm really bummed that I couldn't see that because it looked cool. Apparently I got a 1X on that lap blocking Tyler, so I'm still not getting a lap here. So Ryan, if you could let me, do this thing over here, that'd be awesome. I'm just kidding. You can talk as much as you want.
Yeah, no, I was going to do everything I wanted anyway. But
yeah.
Mark, you're a professional. Act like it. Guys in the chat room, obviously I'm monitoring that. If you have any questions for Mark Miller, please fire it off, or Sean or myself. We obviously just released a batch of podcasts as well as a couple of video series. We have another video that's going to launch tomorrow on Motor Trend's YouTube.
Yep.
So any questions or anything you have, comments, thoughts on life in general?
And this is live
Mark's
on.
obviously
Sorry,
Mark's obviously a long time friend of the show, so don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
And this is live on Facebook as well. Now, Ryan can't be everywhere all at once. So if you're watching this on Facebook, feel free to watch. Keep watching. We appreciate it. But if you write in questions on Facebook, we likely won't see it. Ryan's going to keep his efforts to monitoring the YouTube chat. But please write in. It helps us know what the hell we're doing. And similarly, as you already did, if you've got any technical feedback, we're not able to necessarily see the stream very well. So if there's sound issues, which are inevitable, or just weirdness, let us know. We haven't done this in a year, so we're a bit out of practice.
Yeah. First question for Mark Miller. How many times have you been to jail, Mark?
Jail, did you say?
Yeah, jail.
Or the gym?
Jail.
Definitely jail.
Never have been to jail. I've been in a jail, but I wasn't taken there. I went willingly.
Okay.
I actually went to pick someone up.
Oh.
Go on.
Okay.
That's a story for another time.
Oh. Or now.
Ryan, you know who it is.
Oh, well, now we definitely aren't getting into it, but...
yeah, I was like, wait.
No. All right, well, so I think P1 still, Max Angelelli, with 4.
Yeah, he's four times to jail. I do want to point out that we've had a ton of love for the Max Angelelli episode.
Yep.
Just tons of messages. Dude's obviously nuts. One thing that no one would know, except for I can't remember the guy's name now off the top of my head. You're gonna remember. We went to Tegri Sushi one day, months later, because we did the Max Angelelli episode during the Daytona.
Yep.
In between the Roar and the race, and 6 months later we go to do a trip to Indy and Charlotte and all that. And so we just to go have lunch, we went to Tegri, just the two of us.
Yep.
We walk in. It's the day after the Indy IMSA race.
Yep.
And we see a fan of ours.
Well.
Who's having lunch, and then we see Max Angelelli.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and he's like, oh, hey guys, and he doesn't. I mean, he remembered us, but like he doesn't know us,
Yeah, and he's like, we're kind of out of context. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
Go on.
And he's like, what do you like? Are you having lunch? We're like, yeah, but we're doing these here. And he's like, oh, okay. Couldn't be bothered. Like he didn't really give a shit, but he was like, oh, cool. Good seeing you.
Big fan.
So small world. And then obviously running into fans there was pretty cool too. And they're like, yeah, we had to come eat here. We
exactly.
came to the IMSA race.
They were there specifically because we'd been there so many times. They figured it was good, and that was the part that always stuck out with me was that they truly, the messaging works. And you should go to Tegri if you're in Indy because holy crap, is that it's one of the. There's many places we look forward to, but that's definitely high on the list. And
it's real. Like the Indy racing community eats there. Because I won't say who because I don't want to ruin it, but we did a podcast with somebody that's coming out soon who sits down at the table at dinner and he's like, yeah, I had lunch here today.
Yep.
He's like, oh, well, dude.
Yep.
Like, we get it.
Yep.
He's like, no, all good.
Yeah,
so.
one of my favorite Tegri memories actually was like, I think season 2. We had lunch with Rocket, Kevin Blanche.
Yep.
and really good get, so to speak, because he's sort of a behind-the-scenes guy. Doesn't hold anything back. Really cool dude, and came highly recommended. But it also was a lunch in which we'd been trying to get several different people possibly to join us that day, and including somebody who we can now call him out because he's been on the show since. I think we even talked about it. But we couldn't hear back from Joseph Newgarden at that time.
Correct.
And in his defense, it was during the time of going from Ed Carpenter to Penske, and I think he was just kind of a little bit resistant to, I don't want to do some interview where I get in trouble. But he just flat out ghosted us and wouldn't get back to us, and that was that. And he literally walks in mid-interview, sees us, and gives us the guilty. It's like, hey, guys.
Hey.
Oh, did I get back to you? Like, no, we're not doing this. So.
Yeah, and then I think during Kevin's Rockets interview, I think you kind of shouted over at him, as we see Brian Stilley have a big one there. I think you said something over to his shoulder, and you could just see him cringe, like, I know, I'm sorry. So. Yeah, and then at the same time that he was there, I think Scott Dixon and Marco Andretti were having lunch as well. It's like, okay, this is the spot.
It is the spot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, so we do that Max Angelelli podcast is out. We've got several that just came out, and we also have several Motor Trend episodes as well. This has been a busy time for us. That's why guys like Jacob have done such a great job making this league work, because we've certainly been a bit stretched. But in addition to all of those podcasts, we got the Motor Trend series that's out. We've had 3 episodes come out in the last few weeks. We've got a new one coming out tomorrow, but we did a cool, something we've never done before. We did a single one-off dinner with Tony Kanaan, and then kind of made a whole mini documentary about it. It's not just watching him talk. We tried to, compile some old archival stuff, and I think it turned out okay, actually. I was pretty happy with it because it was something different for us. We compiled some of the stuff that didn't make the final cut in our Fangio episode and made that into an episode. We went to the Fangio Museum, had some full-length interviews with some of the Fangio kidnappers. That's its own episode on Motor Trend right now. And then, of course, a personal hero of mine, and now yours as well, Terry Lingner, came out last week.
Yeah, I actually very surprised at the amount of people that messaged me about Terry.
Yeah.
Because he's come up so often.
Yeah.
So I think we, without trying to be cocky, I think we literally did kind of revitalize his name amongst people that would have never known him. Because exactly. I never heard of him until you brought him up season 1, and then we heard so many stories about him that it's like I felt like right when we sat down, I'm like, I know you.
Yep,
you know what I mean? It's like, I know all about you.
And true to being a producer, he came with notes and a spreadsheet and said, hey, here's the stories you should do. All right, we're about to start a race, by the way, Ryan.
Oh,
and is
cool.
that oh, John Cantu's on pole, not Mark Miller.
Ooh.
So
and Mark Miller's using John Cantu's setup.
Oh,
so.
That's right. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, let's see how this goes. So, Mark, you got anything for John, or is this it?
The draft is so big here,
so
I think everyone has something for all of us.
That's good.
It's just literally, it would be a shock if it wasn't 4 or 5 wide going into turn 2.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got here. So
I hope it's not. But
we got who else? We got Lance Snyder in the middle of the pack. Jacob Campbell, who's historically been really good on the road courses. In P11, Jacob, you're slipping here. And then, our normal cast of characters, Jason Skeen making it, Brian Stilley. It should be a good race. Are we doing a standing start or are we doing rolling?
It is a standing start.
Gosh darn right it is.
Oh, man. It's the wrong time to turn off my clutch pedal.
All right, we'll give you the full screen effect. Should we crank it up, Ryan?
Let's get loud.
Yeah. Cars, trucks.
Monster truck voice.
Repco.
Sponsors.
Got a lot of Continental Tire trucks. I appreciate this.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's keeping us in business. Also, the DWR trucks are cool.
Yeah.
We'll obviously look at some liveries once we get going here.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
All right, here we go. Lights are up. Here we go.
Mark's moving his wheel a lot for somebody that's not moving.
And we're green.
It's just my hands.
Okay, got it.
Don't worry. I'm not even touching the steering wheel at all.
Yeah, just digging.
Mark's got the start. Mark's got the start over John into turn 1. It's going to be Mark.
the no-hand start seemed to really work out for him there. But he is going to be at the behest of the draft now. So
well, that would be my question.
Or the worst of the draft.
Yeah, do you want to be in the front right now, or is it better to be in, say, John Cantu's spot or Enrique?
Personally, I would rather be where I'm at right now, going up and down the hill. But on the straightaways, certainly this is not the best place to be.
Now, I want to point out that Mark actually has like his almost exact helmet design on his helmet, which is pretty cool.
All right, we are riding with John Cantu, who obviously drafting is pretty critical when we get on the big straights here. But now we're in the twisty bits going over the hill. I don't know anything about Bathurst. Ryan, I don't know if you do, so I can't really say anything with any educational level here.
Well, it's in Australia.
Okay, got that.
Yeah, it's fast. People actually do hit kangaroos at this race.
That's a real thing.
Which is a real thing. Tim Pappas does not like this track.
Does not. We're going to stop there.
He does not.
No. Yeah, that wasn't fun.
Yeah. And Mark's doing a really good job here. He's got a little bit of a gap, and right behind him, it's like a bumper-to-bumper pack from second back to sixth. So
nice.
Mark's showing a little bit of his pro racing skills here.
So,
as we got side by side and in the grass there for P2. That's a risky move.
Nice. Now, I probably should have known this before we showed up, but Jacob set this race up. Jacob, how many laps or time is this race going to be?
Oh, boy. It's set for an hour.
Oh, it's a 1 hour race?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we'll catch back up with you guys.
All right. Well, we'll take a break.
Hey, is anyone getting takeout?
I didn't realize it was 1 hour. So, Jonathan running the camera, is that okay?
Absolutely, Sean.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Maybe a little longer than we planned, but who needs to edit our next episode?
Right. Now, because of that time frame, what does that do for strategy and pit stops?
That is a great question.
It is a good question.
Jacob, any ideas?
It looks like we can do about 5 laps, maybe 6 laps on a single tank.
Okay.
So that'd be 15 or so minutes.
So strategy might play a role here, and certainly strategy in terms of how to game the yellows and understand how to play the yellows will definitely play a factor here. So we should definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, Mark Miller here still hanging on to the lead, but we got pack racing going on out back with a big draft as Mark's getting a little pressure on the outside there, but defensive to the inside. He knows what he's doing.
And we are on lap 2, so successful start. Not as chaotic as we'd feared. I definitely see some pack separation, but yellows and inevitable weather changes, things like that, can always bring that into the fold. And we'll just see. I forget iRacing now has rain. It's a shame. There's been a ton of updates, Ryan, in the last year that I haven't played this simulation in a long time, and I know you're not on it that often.
Right.
But there's been in the last 12 months a ton of updates. Specifically, the big one was rain. Was introduced some time ago, and I immediately thought about Thursday Night Blunder of how cool it would be to have rain options, but but we'll see how it goes. Jacob, I'm guessing rain is not really a factor?
No, rain is not a factor, and one of the disappointing things about the rain release is that unless the car is rain-enabled from iRacing, you can't select it.
So the truck is not rain-enabled, therefore there can't be rain racing.
Correct.
What about kangaroo hazards? Should we have kangaroo hazards in this?
Now, I believe we have kangaroo spotters out there that might call out that we need a yellow to get them out of there. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. So, but Mark Miller's still leading here, only 2/10 up on John Cantu, who they are sharing a setup. So
we'll
not
see how this
surprising
goes.
that they're running together.
And
teamwork.
It is worth saying that for a yellow to be effective, you really need to have wave rounds. And so people need to go a lap down. So we'll sit here a minute. Now, can you give a wave around if they're not on the? If they're like, can you give somebody a lap up?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Something to think about.
Yeah, it looks like we maybe Michael Rennick's already a lap down, so it looks like he might have gone in the pits. So it could have been some damage. I did see a couple trucks off at the start in turn 1.
Looks like Jason Skeen is out. I think he's had family obligations. I think Jason Skeen might be our first start in park.
Oh wow! Okay.
I think he started the race to make sure he made the cutoff to make next week's final, because there's no way we would have let him in if he didn't. And I believe if his news reports and his PR people are correct, I believe he has an obligation to see his daughter perform tonight.
No commitment.
So it's entirely possible that he's a start in park.
And his sponsor, Amanda Skeen, we just can't say enough good things about her. So.
Cannot.
she definitely deserves a lot of credit because of the patience she puts up with throwing nonsense.
Yeah.
Top five here separated just by a couple tenths. Actually, they're starting to just split up a bit. We're seeing a gap of about a second between fourth and fifth place, but that top four is still very, very tight here.
Yep.
And biggest gap I'm seeing through the whole field is like 3 seconds, you know, from one spot to the next until you get back in the back. Justin Parcher's having a little bit of a gap there to Lance Snyder. But still a lot of people that have a chance here.
You know, I feel because it's in Australia, things are a little bit upside down in terms of how things work. Is it normal to run an American national anthem on lap 4?
Absolutely.
All right. I think we should run the national anthem here in Australia, but of America.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on.
Say, can you see?
Start over.
By the dawn's early light. Okay, we got the dawn's early light on now?
Yep. Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red and glare, the pumps bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag is still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner. It's waving. O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Play ball! Oh, wrong sport. Sorry, guys.
Now we are. We're live. Was that a great lap 5 national anthem? It's still lap 3. Do you feel more patriotic, Mark Miller?
Yes, very.
Now, to Mark's credit, we were off air, so nobody heard the offer, but he was willing to drive with one hand to do the anthem while leading, I'll add. So, real professional here.
Absolutely.
Now, are you and John Cantu working together at all, or is this just working out that you both have the right setup and that's why you're going so well?
I think he's definitely working with me. I mean, we don't have a plan or anything, but his actions are showing that he's pushing me on the straightaway. I think the smart thing, this is very, like I said, when we raced MX5 Cup back in the day and even ST and things like that, you kind of work together to make that 5-pack down to a 2-pack.
Right.
So that's kind of the goal here, but as
Mark,
I get into the wall.
Have you ever had a big draft around Daytona? From like another
actually
car?
I have. That's actually
anything coming to mind?
Personally, I haven't had a big draft like that. I have had a big push.
Yeah.
So when we were racing the MX5s with CJ Wilson Racing, and I believe you were with Compass in a Honda.
Yeah.
We got a replay
I remember
here. There was
seeing you coming out of the bus stop.
Let's see what happened here, by the way. James Nelson out racing, and looks like he just, a little bit of calamity.
Oh, man. Yeah, out of the bus stop, closing the gap, because MX5 was the slowest car on the straightaway there.
Right.
By tens of miles per hour.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like a 10 to 12 mile an hour difference at start-finish line.
Yeah, it was bad. And we were quite heroic in the infield and only to lose 3 seconds on the banking. So while that was fun and all, it was a bit dangerous. But I got a nice push from you and actually got out of 5th gear for the first time ever in that car.
Yeah, I remember you hit the limiter.
And I had to wave you off because I didn't think I was going to make it into the first.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, please stop, both hands off the wheel.
And the Civic had really good 5th and 6th gear ratios, so any long straightaways, VIR, Road America was very good for us.
Very good.
And like I remember you're like waving me off, and I'm still like, we got 400 more RPM. You know what I mean? It's like, no, dude, we're good. Let's go.
That was the fastest lap by over a second and a half all weekend for our car.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. I wish you would have done that in qualifying.
Yeah, no, that was one of those things where number one, I didn't qualify. Number two, no, I'm not helping you in the race.
Yeah.
But practice, I'm your guy.
Well, you can only do it one lap, right? Because then you said your car was already starting to overheat.
Yeah, like right away, right when I got to your bumper, you're like, give me the thumbs up. And then I saw the hand go from a thumbs up to almost like a nervous, like,
it was like a panic.
I don't know what we're doing here. Yeah. But no, totally worth it. Loved it. You and I have had a lot of fun on track, but actually in the last year, I'd say, because we're both doing Ferrari Challenge coaching, and we're also very good about keeping up with each other. So you and I are like working out at the gym at the hotel. We're going to get dinner at times, and like it's like those weekends are super fun. But when you get to actually spend it with a friend, you know, it kind of takes away from being a travel gig so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of the best work trips I've had that were not actually driving the cars, but were there working and doing promotion or whatever. We've had the opportunity to spend, you know, just fun time together, having a nice dinner and exploring places that we would not normally get to do. And I certainly wouldn't have explored Indianapolis the way you and I did by myself.
So I'd heard about Indy that so they basically got their own version of like bird scooters, right? Electrical rental things that you can run around.
Yeah.
So
they've
tell
got
me
Bird,
about this story.
Yeah, they've got Lime, all the scooters, and so like I guess it was like a year and a half ago for the Indy 500 and the Detroit Grand Prix. Honda had myself and Mark Miller go up and do hot laps and lead follow in Civic Type R street cars, and
what a blast that was too.
And that was super fun. But it's like, hey, you know, we're flying in at like 2 p.m. What, you want to go work out? Yeah, let's go work out. You know, we get done with that. It's like, hey, you want to go to the rooftop bar at the hotel? Yeah, let's go get a drink. You want to go find some sushi? We ended up going to like 4 different sushi places. The first one we went to on scooters, which like we'd get on one, it would run out of battery. You have to get another one.
It got really expensive.
That's all I'm hearing right now.
Yeah. We end up going to the first sushi place, and it's, I think, closed. So the second one we go to is like a takeout only. And we're like, well, no, we have scooters. We have to eat here.
Yeah.
We ended up like
third was a Yamakasi, so you had to like make reservations weeks in advance.
That's right. So we end up at this place that's like probably 3 to 4 miles from the hotel, which in downtown Indy, that's a hike. You know, we have a great meal, some drinks were had, and then we ride back into the city. And there's no one out there. So we're just like right down the middle of the road, just being total jackasses. It was so fun. And then the next morning we got up, worked out, went to the racetrack and drove Civic Type R's, you know, and
spiritedly.
Yeah, awesome. And I remember because the Civic Type R has a data logger, you and I immediately were putting it up there. And it's like, what'd you get? What was your lap time? Like it immediately turned into 2 race car drivers being idiots. And the whole point was like, just give them a lead follow, give them a hot lap. But immediately you and I are like, what'd you run?
Well, there was also like a IndyCar powered, you know, rocket ship out there. And we were like, let's see if we can keep up with them.
So let's get into that. So I don't work there anymore. Honda built a CRV. I think they call it the Beast. It's got it's like a Pikes Peak looking hill climb, you know, SUV. It's got an IndyCar engine and gearbox in it. And it's on street tires because of some liability thing. I don't know. So the potential's there, but Mark and I are noticing that the lap times aren't. So we start like timing it, and then we're doing the lead follow or the hot laps, and we're running this thing down. And so again, we're in a stock Civic Type R, and this thing's got an IndyCar engine. It's supposed to be this big, you know, to do. And the next thing they tried to do to us is they tried to split the gap when that would leave, because it's given hot laps. You know, it's got journalists in it. It's supposed to be a big deal. So we're leaving right after because we're trying to hound this thing, and they're not okay with that. But
they're not happy about that. Could you guys give a little bit bigger gap?
Yeah. Can you stop making the crazy thing we spent stupid money on look bad in our stock streetcar? And of course, you and I are like, yeah, absolutely. And then we did do nothing. We did nothing different. We just kept running the thing down. And
still
also
a
we're
race.
like, why aren't we driving? Yeah, we're like, why aren't we driving that? Like, we're here. Let us drive it, because the person that was driving it, not a pro. So
I totally would have driven that thing. That would have been fun.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. And then the following week, we did the same thing in Detroit. So we flew up. We stayed at the Shinola Hotel.
Shinola Hotel,
which is really
Detroit
nice.
proud.
Yeah. Tabitha came, and we had some great dinners with some of the Honda folks. And again, we went out to
fun.
M1 Concourse, and you were racing GT4. You were doing GS.
GT4 that year, yeah.
And you podiumed, right?
Yeah.
Podiumed
it was our debut race for Thay's competition in the AMG.
Yeah.
That's the first time I drove that car. I drove it, I think 8 laps at Gingerman Raceway on Tuesday, and then we raced it that week and sorted it out on the fly.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And you were running with Michael DeMeo, is that right?
Michael DeMeo, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great
race.
kid. Yeah, former teammate of mine at Compass Racing. Love that kid so much. But you guys show up, get a podium, and my favorite memory of that trip, outside of driving the Civic around. Oh, Simon Pagino came out. We got to hang out with him for a bit. That
was awesome too.
Yeah, but at the end of the gig, you couldn't really have drinks because you're racing GS the next day. so you're like, hey, have fun with my wife at the bar. So Tab and I are just down there chatting up with all these journalists and Honda
she never came back.
Yeah,
I still can't find her.
That's not accurate. I walked in the door.
I know.
No, but it was so kidding. Funny because you're like, well, why don't you guys just have a great time? I have to go to bed now. It's like, see you, Mark.
I was pretty bummed out. Everyone was pretty okay with me not sticking around. They're like, all right, peace out.
By the way, Ryan, we have somebody running the jump and failing. Is that?
Ooh.
And that looks like a Thay's competition truck.
Oh no, that looks horrible.
I saw Lance Snyder trying to do it in practice.
Yeah, the famous Bathurst jump at Pappas Corner. And I don't know who that was.
I think other people have wrecked there too.
Yeah, I don't remember that truck either, but it was running pretty well.
Yeah, and it was in a Thay's livery, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
really?
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think it's missing a hood now, so I can't tell, but I believe it's a Thay's livery.
Yeah, right as he tried to gather it up there, he took out innocent bystander, so that was cool. Yeah, but that was a great trip. We had a lot of fun. Then you get the podium. That was
we need to do that again.
Yeah, we need to convince people to let us destroy streetcars and embarrass their IndyCar power.
It is dub weight, and it is not a Thay's competition. It's a green flying lizard and DWR truck.
Oh.
Still cool.
Okay.
Well, I'm a little less excited about that then.
Well, Doug Wade is awesome, and I won't hear anything else.
So we have a question from the chat room. Mark, what are your racing plans for 2025?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Let me know when you find out.
Okay. All right.
No, there's a lot of maybes up in the air. There's a possibility of doing Lamborghini Super Trofeo again. So that looks positive, which has been a really fun time. Paul Nemshoff and I live in the same town here in Holland, Michigan, so it's a blast to be able to do that. And then we ended up winning the last race while out in Spain, which was a long time coming because we've been close a few times this year. And then I'm really working on an SRO program for GT4 to join you, my friend, on track in Pro-Am, and that we're still trying to button up the final details of that. But it looks possible.
Yeah.
We're just, trying to get everything put together by the end of the year is tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're still up in the air about what any IMSA plans. I would love to run GT3 again. I'm putting my hat out there for silver, potentially old man bronze, but not possible because I'm not old and I'm not slow enough to be bronze according to IMSA. So I understand that.
I mean, you are running P2 right now, so.
Yes, I know. Oh, hold on, let me pull over.
Yeah, back it up a little bit.
Get a coffee.
Yeah, it looks like Art Reimer's taking the cut through there too.
So, and of course I'm going to come back and coach my friend Brian in Ferrari Challenge. He won the Trofeo Pirelli Championship this year in AM category, and he's moving up to the Pirelli category. So I'm pretty excited about that, and so is he. So I'll be at those races to work with him as well, and hopefully I'll see you there as well.
Absolutely, yeah. That's one of the most fun parts of the year. I think any coach that's fortunate enough to get to coach in Ferrari Challenge it's a good gig. But I think you'll relate to this, Mark. When you walk into those, because we have coaches meetings that are mandatory, and when you walk into those coaches meetings, everybody that's in there, I'd say like 95% of those coaches are like somebody.
They won a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like you walk in and you literally are like, oh, that's what that guy's doing since he like retired. And I'm not being mean. It's like you're like, oh, that's what David Donahue does now. That's what Mike Borkowski, like all these stud legends. You're like, oh, right, of course that they're here doing this. And then you've got factory Ferrari guys. You've got GT3 European kids that you're like, you don't know them by face, and you read their suit. You're like, oh, I know that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
dude. Yeah. So
it's so fun to like see all the guys that coach and then realize that, oh man, last year or 2 years ago at the Rolex, like we diced it up for 4 or 5 laps, and it's just that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Now
to be able to be more social with those guys rather than enemies on track. You're not really. Although we all do have that competition.
Well, I was going to say you and I specifically.
The Wednesday competition.
You and I specifically have had a pretty good year of test days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was
one day we'll both get sticker tires.
Yeah, right. Like I think it was Watkins Glen, and I can't remember the other track that you and I were like 1-2 by like hundreds. So it's like you got me once and I got you.
So let's back this up a bit. So if you're in Ferrari Challenge, Ferrari Challenge is entirely geared towards basically amateur drivers. So you're there because you're attached to somebody that's effectively funding it. And you guys are both coaches in Ferrari Challenge, and there's a very limited roster of people that are allowed to coach. That's where you mentioned the veterans. But part of having a coach is basically the Wednesday practice day, where the coaches are allowed to go out, set fast laps, set up the car, do all the things, get data, all the things to help your amateur driver. And it seems like that's your day where you guys get to actually race.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be racing.
Sure.
We don't, but it's really about like, I still got it, or the young kids trying to say, I should be in a GT3 car right now, and I'm coaching Ferrari Challenge. And it's those situations. But for us, it's more about, I mean, I know the way I approach it is more all about my customer. I don't take sticker tires. I don't take light fuel loads. I try to give him a good race car that he can race for 35, 40-minute race.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm also pushing the car enough to not look like a suck.
Yep. And we're both fortunate that our guys, you with Cookie and me with Joe Rubo, they run up front. They run well. So we can't go out there and drive around second and a half off the pace.
Nah.
Like they're gonna suffer, but also they'll probably go quicker than that. So we're fortunate that our customers in that series are both competitive. But all of us do the same thing. All of us get out of the car Wednesday or Thursday because the coaches can drive on both of those days, and we all pull up the app right away. And you're like, where am I?
Yeah.
And then you look and it's not our name; it's the client's name. So you're like, Cookie. Oh, Mark Miller. Damn it, again. All right.
Yeah. The running joke in the paddock is when people look up and say, "All right, who's that guy's coach?"
Right. Exactly.
Time.
Exactly right. So, but we are fortunate that Ferrari Challenge is. They're very pro coaching. They understand that these guys are, trying their best in a very fast car, and they don't mandate a coach. But if you have an off, I think 2 offs, then they do mandate a coach. Like you have to hire a guy. So
I thought you had to have a coach.
No, I don't think you have to until you've had a problem. But then it's like then you can't run. So
you're likely going to have a problem though.
Yeah.
You don't have a coach.
Tough cars.
I mean, honestly, these cars are so fast.
Yep.
They're faster than GT3 on the straightaway by 10 or 15 miles per hour.
It's awesome.
And they handle quite well, and they're particularly nice to drive. Doesn't take a lot of input. It's not super physical. The AC is better than my house.
Yeah, right.
And being a coach in Ferrari Challenge nobody can just coach. There's actually a whole qualification process that you two are lucky enough.
Vetted,
but
for sure.
you have to be vetted. You can't. You have to have a certain credential, and even at that, they don't let everybody in. And even within that, there's, without getting too much into it, there's distinct policies about how you're to conduct yourself, rates, all that kind of stuff. It's it's quite a system there.
Yeah, one of the funniest things to me with the coaching thing, because I've been coaching my guy Joe in various different series, and they didn't originally, I think in like 2017, they didn't ask for any like resume on me, but then in 2018 at the Roar, Didier Tays, who's the chief instructor, former sports car champion and all that, he's like, hey Ryan, I need you to send in like a resume. And I'm like, I haven't done a resume in like 7 years. Like,
by the way, they're in for fuel here on lap 10. Mark, you're getting fuel right now. Is that what we're seeing?
getting a full load of fuel
All
here,
right, so
hopefully.
standing start, you could do 10 laps, and it looks like, is that Enrique out right now? I don't know if he, is he that far back, or has he been able to stretch his field to go a lap longer? It looks like he's been able to stretch it.
Looks like he
Yeah,
pitted.
looks like
Also,
Jason undercutted me like big time. I don't know what happened to John. He slid into the pits in a strange fashion.
And you took the lead from him on pit road there with his
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jason's got 8 seconds on me, and I don't know how, because we were just cruising along.
but he undercut. So interesting strategic move there. It looks like Jason kind of had an idea of where the advantages were.
Are the tires that good?
Well, they are Continentals.
Exactly.
I know, but I mean, like, I thought they don't fall off at all.
They're good at any point. You have to will them to be better.
Smart choice in tires, Mark.
Yes, I know. I have them on all of my family cars and general tires as well, on all my off-road beasts.
But to be clear though, with Jason and his strategy, it's the tire is part of it, but you also have to want it.
You got to care.
Mark has one of the slower
really
pit
care.
times too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to finish that Ferrari thing, I'm getting hounded. Hey, you got to turn in a resume. You got to turn in a resume, and I'm doing the 24-hour for Hart in the NSX. You know, so it's like, come on, like what? And so I have to go to the hotel, and I'm like, and they're like, look, if you don't turn this thing in by the race, we can't let you coach. It's like, guys, you know me. It's a pain in the ass. So
you know me.
Like I'm already here. Like we're good. So we won the championship in 2017. So it's, all right, fine. So I fill out a resume and I like put the whole thing together. I update it, and then I go to hand it in. And Olivier Pla, who's a WEC champion, and Stephen Wilson, who's an IndyCar driver, are handing theirs in as well. And I went, maybe I should just shut up. Like maybe I'll just shut up now. Like these two badasses are also
and they're not complaining about it.
Well, no. Stephen Wilson was like, "What's up with this?" Olivier Pla looked at both of us like, "Who are you two?" You know, like I don't know you guys. So, it's pretty funny. I remember thinking like, "Okay, I'll just zip it up here."
So, do we know the time remaining? Anybody on the admin side?
32 minutes.
32 minutes. Huh. All right. How's the weather there, Mark or Tyler?
It's beautiful right now. I wish it was raining.
I think it's starting to rain kangaroos, Sean.
Oh, there are in fact kangaroos running. We can't see it, but that is the report. I don't know, Ryan. Do you think we need a yellow?
I think probably safety should come first.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and throw that yellow, or we can wait until all the strategy's done, like series are starting to do lately, because safety can take a break for convenience.
I don't know what you mean, Ryan.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that. No, that car's totally fine there. That carbon's all good. We had a couple questions in the chat.
Oh, we're yellow, by the way.
Full course caution here.
We'll wait for the field to pack up before we start worrying about wave rounds, but we'll let the field pack up. Anyway, there's questions in the chat room.
Yeah, so one of the questions was about that CRV IndyCar thing. It says, wasn't James Hinchcliffe driving? And no, it wasn't. It was a Honda engineer who helped work on the project. Good dude, not the fastest guy in the world. Mark, do you have any ailments you can exploit to get a bronze license? Which is a reference to Max Angelelli mentioning that he used his cancer diagnosis to try to get downgraded.
Really?
Successfully,
it
by the
didn't
way.
work?
No, it worked. It was successful.
He's bronze.
Yeah.
He's bronze.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah.
Oh man. What does glaucoma work? Because I'm pretty sure I could get glaucoma.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew
I need to
Barca.
figure that out.
Andrew Barca asks, "What are your thoughts on Andy Lally's retirement and his new job?" And I'd say, Mark, since you race in Trans Am from time to time, you go ahead first.
I actually heard about it somehow beforehand, and I mentioned it to him coaching up at Watkins Glen, and I was like, "Hey, congratulations, by the way." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "The whole Trans Am deal." And he's, it was at Vegas Grand Prix, the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So it was pretty recently. I was like, right about a week before it came out. He's like, well, shh, don't say that. Wow, how do you know? So I was like, no one's supposed to know that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, congratulations anyway. I won't tell anybody. So I think it's great. I raced in Trans Am for a couple seasons. I worked with a lot of drivers in Trans Am for several seasons after that, and several teams. it's a great series, and I think the series will definitely benefit by having his experience and everything. I hate to see him go because he's not that much older than I am, but
yeah, that was going to be my next question for you. Like, because Andy, I think he turns 50 in February.
Yep.
You're way younger. You're like 42.
Oh, yeah, way younger. Like months.
Yeah. So looking at that, is that something that is in the back of your head, or is it something like, okay, he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing?
Yeah, I have no desire to take that on. I was asked roles like that, similar roles, either in race direction or, team management, 10 years ago, and I wasn't ready then. I'm not really ready now. I love what I do. I'm still very competitive, as was Andy. So, but I think he just wanted to change, and he got a great opportunity, and I'm perfectly okay not following in that direction right now. I'll wait until I'm actually bronze.
There you go.
And just to sort of back that up a step, I mean, obviously you guys have covered it, but Andy Lally, who's one of the best friends of both Ryan and I, and also driving for Magnus Racing, which I'm of course pretty familiar with. He will be running his last race, potentially of his career, but he's still open to sort of the occasional one-off, so probably not. But he'll be racing at Daytona this year with Magnus, and then that's it. And then he's going to take on the role of president of Trans Am, which obviously has had some different years over the decades.
I pitted.
Are you pitting? It's a good time to pit.
No, I pitted already. Oh. Well, right when I was coming into the pits when the caution was out.
But Trans Am, which is over the years kind of changed over its management and its direction quite a bit in the last 10 years and has been, I would say, on the upswing. Tony Perella and that whole group looked at Andy at sort of a different point in his career and realized the between his personality and the sort of things that he brings and his experience would be a good fit to sort of take that role of president and work with that kind of consortium of people that are doing it. And can only hope that it'll work out as everybody expects.
Yeah, the thing that I think about Andy as a series president, or if he was a driver steward, and Sean, I know you can appreciate this, Andy does not care what you think about him or his decisions or his opinions. Like, so if he changes something and they don't like it, he's not going to bow to pressure or opinion if he believes in it.
Exactly.
And
even if he's completely wrong, by the way.
Right, yeah.
Even if he's blatantly incorrect, absolutely. I'm backing you up, but I'm just saying he's not always right, but he sticks with it, and you can't. And you got to give him that credit.
I'll take that all day over somebody that is afraid that the billionaire who's now tweeting about it is going to get influence, and okay, fine, we'll change it back or whatever. Like, Andy's so steadfast in his beliefs, for better or worse, that I think that position, that's a really great thing. And so Spencer Lally and I had coffee, I think 2 days ago, and we were kind of going over, some of the things that he's already, because he's already working on it. Even though he's going to retire from racing after Daytona, he's already essentially running this Trans Am.
Is the field packed up, by the way? Oh no, people are pitting. Okay,
not yet.
Let's wait till the stops. When the field's packed, let's do some. We haven't looked at liveries.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, he's already, knee deep in this Trans Am thing, and it's probably the first time I've seen him this excited about racing in a while. Like, he's like street luge, he's as excited as he's ever been. Jiu-jitsu, peg the meter. Racing, you can kind of tell he's like,
yep.
And with the Trans Am thing, he's said for years, TA2 especially, is like one of the best platforms there is, and I think he's going to do great things with it.
Absolutely, and Andy, he's been at it for a minute in terms of this sport, and so and with his very likable personality and the fact he's very engaged, the sport obviously operates in a number of different ways, but the wealthy enthusiast, as we all know, is a big part of it, and Trans Am over the years has very much moved in that direction of catering to that. And a guy like Andy, who has worked with everyone from Rob Dyson to John Potter to everybody in between, he understands that world. He definitely understands where Trans Am has been in terms of, it's still holding true to sort of being a throwback series with, proper, less electronic, high horsepower, fun cars. What many of us kind of miss with racing, and Trans Am is kind of stuck to those guns, and that's a really good fit for somebody like Andy who gets that and also gets the customer aspect of the sport. And so as Trans Am continues to kind of figure out where its space is in the sport, I think a guy like Andy, who is so well connected, and even if he's hard-headed, I think most people genuinely respect the guy, and so I think that can only help.
Exactly. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks. I was just saying, keep in mind that IMSA, while it's an entity of NASCAR, doesn't really have the same level of crossover because the equipment is so much different. But Andy's raced NASCAR. He knows a lot of those NASCAR guys, and a lot of those guys are running teams or working in Trans Am as a development series. He's like the perfect conduit from sports car racing to NASCAR guys because he's done both. It wasn't that he wanted to go NASCAR racing. I'm not that type of guy. I came from stock cars quite a bit and raced up at Canadian NASCAR in Canada and did a lot of stock cars when I was younger. And I was dying to get out of the stock cars and into sports cars. And he just loves the NASCAR stuff
So
way more than I expected.
So let's interrupt you there. We've got a packed up field. So let's do some wave arounds. Jonathan, when you get a sec, let's see. It looks like Michael Rennick is 2 laps down. All right, let's take a look at whoever you give us.
And just to recap, Mark, you're going to have a say in this, and we're looking for DWR, content. We're looking for Mark Miller content. Anything that says that they really put in the effort on the delivery.
So who are we looking at? So this is Justin Parcher. Justin Parcher is.
That's a watermelon.
Is Justin Parcher leading?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Justin Parcher.
Is there anybody who's a lap down we can take a look at?
Yeah.
Michael Kelly is a lap down.
Yep.
We've got Michael Rennick a lap down.
Jacob Campbell. So let's see if we can get some of those folks. And
here's Michael Kelly.
We'll give it a second here to switch that camera over.
Wow. You guys, let's hear it. Is there money on the table for my vote right now?
All right, so this is Michael Kelly. So Michael Kelly, fairly new to our series, I believe, and looks like it is just a straight-up brown truck.
Now, is that where like the livery didn't load? Or
yeah, that's what I'm not sure of. What do you think, Jonathan? Is that a livery that didn't load, or is that just no livery?
It's got a Porsche emblem on the front if you look really closely.
I'm barely seeing it. Maybe it's a mud-covered.
You know what? Something on the roof.
I'm good with it. Let's just send him anyway. Why not?
Get him in.
Michael Kelly gets a wave around. Michael Kelly gets a wave around. That is number, I believe, 18 Michael Kelly.
56.
56. That is 56.
Yep.
Who's the next one?
That's what he said.
Looks like Michael Rennick is the next one.
Yeah, Michael Rennick's...
He needs a wave around.
Michael Rennick, I love that guy. He works with Delta. He's a friend of ours, Team ATL guy. So
yeah.
Oh, I think we got maybe some unloaded liveries, perhaps.
I was gonna say I don't love that livery, but I do love Michael Rennick.
Yeah, he's basically an automatic pass. So Michael Rennick in the 18 truck of Michael Rennick, he gets a pass.
Yeah.
And I believe Jacob Campbell is still a couple laps down. Who,
I don't know about
series. Him. Yeah, we'll see how we feel about him. Depends on the car.
He is looking very dapper. I'll give him that.
Jack Kavka and Jacob Campbell are the other 2 lap cars.
Gotcha. So this is Jacob Campbell. I mean, that's a Continental truck.
Yeah.
That's pretty intuitive. So Jacob Campbell definitely getting a wave around. In the 699, of Jacob Campbell gets a wave around.
I think that's my livery from when I did it, only because I think there's a DWR sticker on the pillar. Right there.
I see it. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, which I had put on there. So
and Jack Kavka.
Whoa.
And Jack Kavka.
I like that livery.
The yellow?
Yeah.
I mean, it's your show, Mark.
It's various shades of yellow, though. You think about it.
It's very banana phone-like. So why not?
He's missing half his body
That's
work.
fine.
Let the guy go
Jack
back
Kavka
around.
gets a wave around. All good.
He's seen better days.
That is, I think it's number 22 of Jack Kavka. I think it's number 22.
Or 18.
Listen.
Listen here, pal.
All right, wave buys are good. I just gave him one more lap to hopefully catch back up.
We got an update on the brown truck. It's Mark's Porsche.
Oh, there you go.
Wait,
it's Mark's actual car in real life.
my car's gold.
Ooh, shots fired.
Oh, are we talking about the which Porsche?
It just says
I
it's
only
Mark's
have
Porsche. So
one.
I think it's you have a 944, right?
I have a 944, but
Yeah,
it's
so
gold. It just only has a dark.
Are we going to
roof.
split hairs here?
Yeah,
I think we should. Let's keep this going.
I don't think
we
that
still have
livery
15
loaded.
minutes to go.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
the
it
person
is
driving
gold.
it.
I see it. It is a golden
I'm pretty
color.
sure it's the person driving it that's telling us it's
Yeah.
your car. So like, why
Well,
don't
he
we
got
just...
you got the wave around, buddy. Don't worry.
Okay.
How much time is left?
Not enough time for me to
Too
make it all
much.
the way back to the
Too
front.
much.
So I'm just wondering about it more.
19 minutes, Sean.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, you can win it twice, Mark.
I don't know. I don't even. It keeps telling me to let everybody by, and I'm just I can't go any slower letting people by. I'm pulled over to the side here.
I don't know what that means. That's a good looking North Racers truck right there. John can't see.
All right,
Motor
so
Trend Love, which is where you can find our show.
yeah, we've got 3 new episodes out, and a 4th one coming out tomorrow, and a 5th one coming out next Friday. So I got a whole slew of stuff. We've got. It's been a very content-heavy few weeks here, Ryan. We've had every Friday the Motor Trend series comes out. That's coming on the heels of a July release. We also had all about kidnapping Juan Fangio. We've had some podcasts come out right before Thanksgiving featuring Max Angelelli, like we talked about, but a whole bunch of other people, including Juan Fangio II, Oliver Gavin, and Mike Rockefeller, Renger Van de Zande,
Max Angelelli,
and Lawrence Van Tour, and then we got some new ones coming out over the course of the next week or two. In addition to 2 more Motor Trend episodes, one tomorrow and one next Friday. So tomorrow's Motor Trend, which will release at exactly 3 p.m. Eastern, give or take, will feature one of our favorite people in the world, Ryan. Who did we do a whole series of dinners with a few months ago?
Not sneezing. That'd be Mr. Bill Riley.
Bill Riley.
We spent a week with Bill and Bob Riley, rest his soul, and B. Like the whole family. B. Riley, Mary. What a treat! It actually led to me getting to do a champ car race with Bill at Road America. But we spent a week in the life of Bill Riley in the shop. We're up there first thing in the morning. We're doing the morning meetings. We're hearing about all the projects they have going on, which if you know anything about Bill Riley, he's got a lot of stuff going on, and it's all successful. I mean, like, the guy just is so talented. And Bill's been a friend of the show. Like, we obviously tormented him with a rap video and then a remix of the rap video. Mark Miller was featured in his episode when he got hung up on. Bill's part of the Dinner with Racers lore. Like, he's, I think, probably, like, the third host, if I had to.
Yeah, he's
part of it.
It's why whenever his name comes up in credits for us, he's always referred to as a pop culture icon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
William
he
P.
is.
Riley.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a cool experience. We got to we did several dinners. We did a dinner with Bill by himself. We did a dinner with Bill and all of his neighbors. His best friend Tony Ave, who's a lunatic. But also, of course, most personally, is we had a really, really nice dinner. Family dinner between between Bill, his wife Mary, and then his mother B, and of course his father Bob, who then who recently passed a few weeks ago. So it was a really special time, and we knew it was special at the time, but it only kind of became more special a few weeks later. But that was a kind of a one-of-a-kind experience.
Yeah, we were mid road trip for the final video that'll come out this year when Bill reached out to us and let us know, and it was one of those things where we're like, oh man, like we just spent time with him. We were just in his house having dinner at his table. And very, very sad loss. However, I know you'll say the same thing. So grateful we got to have that meal at Bob and B's house.
Exactly.
Like when you listen to that podcast or you watch that episode, the things that Bob Riley did, take sports car racing, modern stuff out of it. Like, he worked on the Saturn V. You know what I mean? Like, he was a part of the first Ford factory GT Le Mans program.
Exactly.
Like, the things the guy did was, and he's so chill. Not 1 ounce of like, yeah, I did that. Just like
Yeah.
Like old school cool.
Yeah, to the point you have to like prompt things out of him because like it's not a thing to him. And it's like, you were AJ Foyt's builder for how many years?
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean
at
this
the
isn't
Indy
a thing?
500?
Yeah,
unbelievable. So very neat experience. As it looks like we're going back to green here.
Yeah, we are green. Doug Waite looks like he'll take the lead. John Canty right behind him, followed by Brian Stilley, David Lindhagen, Ben Fuller. It's kind of our usual cast of characters. And so, what do we have? About 15 minutes left.
Spot on, Sean.
There we go.
14:40.
14:40. So I don't know if we'll have time for another yellow. How long did that one take? That one took about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that might have been it. Two notes in the chat. Hurricane Barca, I love you so much. Riley's on the moon.
Yes, like I forgot about that.
What a callback.
Yeah,
like, so good.
Yeah,
so good. And then your buddy Michael Friedman points out that tomorrow is Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay.
So what a perfect day for a Bill Riley release.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, yeah. Ben Tyler says that Tony Ave named their kitten, which is random.
Sure.
Yep.
And was it a clean name?
Yeah.
And he didn't call it a kitten, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Is this an actual animal, or are we talking about something else?
Yeah.
But yeah, that comes out very, very soon. We're very proud of it, and grateful for our time with Bob and B. But also, like, Bill's like now our guy. Like, he's been our guy for a long time. Yeah. But like getting to go do that. So I told Sean this story already, but I went and did this Champ Car event at Road America in this crazy like 1980 Corvette that he built with Jim Matthews, and for the most part, JR is running the car, like one of Bill's guys.
Kessler, who's been his parts manager for several years.
Yeah, and he's just like, we love him. He's a total stud. But at the end of the race, I'm in the car for the finale. We have a little bit of mechanical, and then Bill comes on the radio for the first time, and I'm sure Mark can relate to this. I heard Bill Riley on the radio go like, "Hey, push for the win." And I know it's Champ Car and it's fun and games, but it gave me, and I said on the radio, I was like, "Dude, Bill Riley's talking to me on the radio," and he's like, "Ugh," like he hated it. He hated it.
He actually was very complimentary of you, Ryan. He was like, I obviously need to work on data and stuff because Ryan was just way faster than me.
So, first off, and I told Sean this too. I was like, Bill can wheel. Like, he was not slow. But also, when we were at the shop, and the whole way that thing came together is we're there filming for his episode that comes out tomorrow, and the Champ Car's there, and it's crazy. I mean, this thing looks like, the Batmobile. And I said, "Hey, when's the next race?" And he says, "Road America, you in?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And Bill's like, "Really?" Like, "Yes, I would like to do this." And so we put the thing together. He handed me, what was it, $20 bill?
Yep.
Sean?
Yes.
Yeah. Hands me a $20 bill right there. He's like, "Hey, I talked to Jim. You're in for Road America. I can't pay you, but here's $20. And I was like, "Okay." And he said, "This $20 is for you to not coach me." And I'm like, all right. And I think this might go back to Mark Miller, probably Mark Goosens. I guess every pro that comes and races with them in this Champ Car situation tries to help. And Bill and Jim are like, "Don't help. You just want to drive a race car. Leave us alone. Shut up." And that's it. So he gives me $20. Fast forward, the race goes really well. I had a lot of fun. But Bill's a stud, man. He can really wheel. And then you and I, Sean, are in Texas doing another project. Bill calls me. And he goes, "Hey, I need you to itemize out about 8 minutes of data for your daily rate because you went a little quicker than I expected. So whatever 8 minutes of coaching is." So that's the next time. Yeah. So, but totally awesome experience. And Mark, can you talk about getting to drive for Bill? Like, because it's a big deal. Like, he doesn't.
It's
like
a huge deal.
But it's a big deal. Like
even the Champ Car deal.
Exactly.
I was so jealous.
Seriously.
I was like, "What?
Yeah.
Really?"
Yeah.
He's asked me a couple times, and I felt so honored, and then I felt like a complete idiot because I couldn't go, and I'm like, I'm only going to get asked once or twice, and that's it.
Literally what he said to me. He goes,
"I'll never get asked again."
He goes, "Hey, if you want to do it, you can do it." Unfortunately, it was during the Ferrari Challenge Italy World Finals, which I was supposed to go to, so that was free on my schedule. That got canceled, so the schedule was open from DWR, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm only going to ask you once though." And I was like, "No, I'm going. Like, dude, I'm going." It was awesome. Like, and again, you got to drive for him in real stuff. Like, you got to go to Le Mans. You're famously part of the story of "Don't talk yourself out of a ride," which we've beaten to death because it's such a great fucking lesson in motorsports.
My humble self will remind you that everything that they do is a privilege to drive. And that Corvette, if you talk to a lot of the Champ Car teams, that Corvette is basically, to some people, it's just every bit as good as that Viper from Le Mans.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. And even though it's Champ Car, I have the opportunity in this case to really embarrass myself in front of a guy I don't want to embarrass myself. You know what I mean? Like that field is full of like people that are on like their first race ever to people like myself. So the talent level's all over the place, the preparation's all over the place, and you could very easily run in the back of a guy at like 100 miles an hour difference just because of circumstance. So I'm not kidding. I was actually nervous to go drive a Champ Car race because it's Bill Riley. Like, he's the man, you know? Mark's obviously very in tune right now because he's stopped responding, and I can tell that
that means he's in it. So Mark is currently
he's got
P5, 7 seconds up on John Cantu leading. I don't have my stopwatch running here, but I assume there's about 10 minutes left. And
not much I can do with him, but I was 18th, about 2 laps to go. So
nice.
I feel working my way up.
Yeah, let's go to Mark's headshot here because he's got race face. Like he's tuned in.
This is the racing face right here.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go full screen here. Let's see what Mark Miller looks like when it's game time here. There he is. There's some game time Mark Miller. Look at that guy. Yeah, he's actually.
I love seeing that livery. Some of these liveries are cool as hell.
Yeah, it's the thing I'll always give our fans credit for. I mean, I'll give our fans credit for a lot of things, but the creativity and the reason that we started doing this series in its own form in 2019, but really 2020 during all the lockdown is when the real Thursday Night Blunder nonsense started. And the liveries was a big part of why we kept it going, because it was so clear to us that the fans were enjoying it, and you could see it by how they were doing this. And so it's cool to see, but to see all the Continental trucks, Mark Miller tribute trucks. We've got Justin Parcher here just in front of you running basically a holiday Continental theme. I mean, it's there's nothing like our fans. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, no question. We did the Kansas road course with the Civics a bunch of years ago. And it was, and I did it on your sim, Sean.
You did.
And
it was the last time it was run.
It was nuts seeing like all these tribute liveries. You know, it was so cool. So I'm sure Mark's having fun.
Yeah.
This is actually way more fun than it was the first 30 minutes that I was driving it. Now that it's racing and everyone's driving so clean, as a bunch of guys crash behind me. But everyone's driving so clean, it's a lot of fun.
You're in it,
there's a battle for the top 6 here that's pretty strong.
Exactly. So John Cantu and Doug Waite are kind of in their own top 2 battle, it looks like. With Doug's, who is that? Can't quite tell.
Yeah, it looks like maybe. Oh man.
Yeah, I can't tell. There's so many Continental trucks. It's hard to tell. Right. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looked like P4 and P5 took each other out there, so Mark's gonna have a little bit of breathing room.
But Justin Parcher in P3 is effectively 5 seconds down from Doug Waite, so it's going to be quite a bit of a gap to make up. So Mark, I'd almost say you and Justin would have to work together to try and get all the straight line you can. I don't think we have time to go yellow.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Doug just went out, so I'm not sure why. I think he said he pitted too early to run out of gas, so undercut doesn't always help.
Man. So it's coming down to 2 trucks that have the exact same setup.
Yeah,
and
John's been pretty strong all year. Didn't he win the championship already?
The championship comes down to the final next week, but John is currently 6.5 seconds up on you, Mark. So it's going to be a tough deal to call.
I got it down to 5.25 now.
Now I'm a big fan of John Cantu. He's way in the lead. We do have the opportunity to call snipes.
What's that mean?
A snipe.
Tell me about snipes.
A snipe is when our fans or our guest decide that they want to put a hit out on somebody, and normally there's stakes. Now
I've had snipes put out on me before.
I believe you have.
Almost every time that I've driven.
Normally there's an opportunity to advance, but the truth is pretty much everyone in this race is going to go to the final next week. So there's not a whole lot of stakes. But if you want to come up with a stake to snipe John, we can certainly put it out there. But we're not calling out a hit unless there's a reason for it. So that's up to you.
We've got people in the chat room are already asking for the snipe.
I'm pretty sure John was talking crap on a couple of the guys in here for being too slow. I could have been someone else, but pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, if there's one thing I know, it's that John Canty's a son of a bitch.
Yeah,
like he's so mean.
He's a real Yeah, he goes off on that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try this. What everyone else is doing here. I've never done the little cheat code. I don't know if it works or not.
All right, is this a shortcut?
It's important to point out that like John Cantu, also known as Dogathan, he's a real racer. He's a steward and does a lot of trackside events at Laguna Seca in California. So he's a real racer. He's been very successful for us in the Dinner with Racers League. Heading up Mark Miller, no easy feat, and then Justin Parcher, who's also longtime race fan out of the Pacific Northwest, running P3. So only a couple tenths behind Mark, but 7 seconds out in front. John Cantu having a great run.
That gap, Mark Miller, is not getting any closer. So if you have any chance to win here, you're gonna have to call a snipe.
I guess we got to call the snipe because I don't know. Depends on if he's cutting the track. Is he cutting the track anywhere?
You did just gain a second, and then he's immediately pulled another 3/10 out. So you guys are kind of yo-yoing here. But I would say the snipe would have to be your best bet. And again, in the chat room, I'm seeing a lot of snipes. So
okay, well listen, give the people what they want.
But what's in it for the sniper? It's got to come from you. Like normally we offer like an advancement to the final or something like that. They're all in the final. That's what I'm saying. I got nothing to offer.
I got to give me the address. I'll send them a care package. Chocolates.
Mark Miller's got Venmo, so.
All right. So Mark Miller's going to maybe send you some track.
You better.
So some Mark Miller endorsed chocolates. If we can snipe John Cantu.
In the form of cash value.
Yeah, okay. Now we're talking.
All right, so we're looking at Mark Miller there in P2. That is, he's in the green and gray truck as the sun goes down here. But John Cantu about 7.5 seconds in front. Now, John looks like he's all alone. So it'd be hard to snipe a guy that's out there on the track by himself. It's almost like the guys in the back would have to slow down. I might suggest we look over to see where John is on track. That's John Cantu we're looking for. There he is. And got a little bit of a mangled truck, but he's hitting his marks.
Hey, John, are you worth a box of chocolates?
He's talking to him on chat right now, which of course we can't hear, John. But
now is that the commentator's curse when you literally explain how to take him out?
Yeah. Well, is it, or is it an edict?
Right.
The commentator's never technically been taken out by explaining it, though. So there's no curse for them.
Right.
What is the curse?
Oh, was that a real question?
Yeah.
Oh, the commentator's curse is whenever you mention somebody like they're doing well in a race, immediately they wreck a half lap later.
Yes.
And that is a real thing.
Are you new?
Yeah.
I'm very new.
Well, when you start to get closer to 50, the memory goes. Second thing to leave.
People don't usually say how good I'm doing.
I mean, that's that glaucoma.
Oh, you just hit the wall.
Yeah.
Wait, who just hit the wall?
Oh.
Did John?
Cantu.
John hit the wall. Did he get
No
sniped?
way.
That looks like the 77. I thought.
Did he get sniped or what happened?
No.
I don't think that's him.
Did someone snipe him?
Well, that's him right there. Oh, wait, is he sniping himself? What's going on?
No, he still has a 7.5 second lead. Nothing's changed here. He's still got a lead.
That's not true.
Yeah, 7.6.
Jacob Campbell.
I mean, I'm watching.
He just dropped out. Mark Miller's the leader. Yeah, John Cantu just went to the pits.
Okay.
Wait, did he not? Wait. Is this basically? Here we go. Here's the replay.
He just said the curse got him.
Oh!
he was on his own. Oh.
Did that really happen?
Let's see. This is him right here, and he just lost it. Now I don't know if he was reinforcing.
I just got passed by Justin.
I mean, John's a pretty funny dude, so he might have been reinforcing by design, or that's real.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way,
like,
awesome.
You can't snipe me. I snipe myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a snipe-assisted suicide.
Yeah. Oh. Unalive.
Yeah.
Justin just passed me by just cutting the track, so I didn't know you could do that, but it looks way cooler than what I did.
Okay, so Mark's learning about the commentator's curse, how to take advantage in motorsports.
Yeah, it's first for everything. Justin Parcher now leading, by the way. We have a white flag, so Mark Miller. That's Justin right in front of you in that holiday-themed Continental truck. So Justin, like you say, Ryan, he's from the Pacific Northwest, and big racing fan, big advocate for all of our stuff. We can't be more thankful for guys like him in our lives. And Mark, if you were going to race him for the win, we'd just ask you to do it cleanly.
I think every time I've raced at Portland, Justin's come out and supported it. So, big fan of that, but also the fact that
guys, stop saying nice things about him because I was just about to wreck him.
Nope. We like Justin. John Cantu, screw him.
He's the worst. Get him, Mark. Yeah, awful dude. so supportive, like too supportive. You know what I mean? Like that kind. So
I like that.
Do what you got to do here. And then also Justin, if you take out Mark in the same way, Mark's the worst. Just the worst. So.
I'm all for
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no chocolates in it for you.
We got a lot of pressure here as we're coming up into this break zone.
All right, as we go up through the hill here, this is for the win, which has literally no stakes at all. It's going to make absolute no difference in next week's final.
Just like in real sports car racing, it doesn't matter. Too soon?
Sure.
Yeah, once again, if you have a question for Mark Miller, now's the time to fire it off, or Sean and myself, before we finish this race up.
Now, Mark, is this all you got, or are you running them clean?
Mark, so.
Oh, we're taking a shortcut here. Notice how quiet Mark got here?
Yeah, no,
I'm just wondering where that shortcut he took and didn't get a penalty, because that's what I need to do.
So Mark again,
you do get a penalty. You just got to burn it off, Mark.
Yeah, well, he made up 4 seconds on me, so I was like,
That's Tyler sits in third.
So I do like that we're getting live race analysis from one of the stewards.
Yeah, also the third place driver, by the way.
Yeah,
Tyler,
he's also fighting for the win here.
Tyler is P3 just behind them, so if something happens between Mark and Justin here, it's going to be all Tyler, our admin, no conflict at all.
Tyler took...
Yeah, and the top 3 are separated by 1.5 seconds, so this is pretty exciting.
Here we go. We're getting into the final couple corners.
Oh, no, that's a second move.
Oh, Tyler going for the shortcut, and Tyler's got the lead with a shortcut. If he can burn off the time.
Oh, this is crazy.
Tyler.
What a great race.
Did Tyler just, hold on, one more corner to go.
Yeah.
Tyler, where are you at on penalties?
Got a car off in the road here.
Tyler's slowing down to hit the penalty.
Is he running out of gas?
No, he's trying to manage the penalty here. He's trying to burn off the penalty. And
that was fantastic.
And it looks like Tyler will lose the lead, and it's going to be, is it
that
Justin?
Mark Miller?
I think Justin Parcher got it.
Justin Parcher with the win.
Parcher got it.
.075, less than a tenth of a second to Justin Parcher.
Guys, thank you very much.
That was awesome. And Tyler making it interesting there. Yeah, Tyler, I'm guessing you had to slow down there at the end because of the shortcut penalty.
Right.
And you were balancing.
Yeah, it was exactly, I think, like 0.01 of a second too much of a penalty there, I guess.
Well, I appreciate the strategy.
Yeah, I wish I would have known about that. That would have been awesome.
Nice. All right. Well,
I didn't know you could do that.
Justin Parcher will take the win for our last chance qualifier here. He'll advance to the final, as will basically everybody. I don't know how Justin did in the regular season, know how he will grid for the race, but regardless, a win is a win, and he should enjoy it.
Yeah, Mark, any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Continental Tire.
Good.
Absolutely. And then also General Tire is part of the Continental family. I use them for all my off-roading fun. Thank you to Dinner with Races, of course, because I love getting an invite. It's an opportunity for me to play video games and have fun with my friends. I don't get to do that very often. So you guys all live in Atlanta or all over Indy or Charlotte, and I'm the lone Michigan racer up here in West Michigan. So this is a blast. I love it.
Now, Mark, I will say I always appreciate that you will be in the airport and you'll see that bar restaurant where you had the cracker story happen to you. And you'll post a link to your episode, and you're like, "This is where it happened." And
this is where it happened.
I get a kick out of that. You know, you do it a couple times a year. It always makes me laugh.
It's not there anymore. It's called something else.
Right.
You can't get the crackers I like anymore. I don't know what happened there. And I don't think anyone buys a USA Today in the airport anymore. So slowly, things are fading away. I deserve to be bronze.
I like it. All right. Justin Parcher is in the waiting area, as is Art Reimer. Let's let our winner in. We're not going to stay on for too long. We didn't realize it was an hour-long race, and so we gotta get back to work here. But we got Art, we got Justin. Let's give him a minute to queue up, and we'll go from there. Fun race, Ryan?
Honestly, I think I said it off the air before we got on, but I love Mark Miller. Like every time we see each other at a coaching gig or whatever, it's like, hey, my buddy's here. So I'm grateful that he could come on and with us, and he's been great for the show. He's been kind of like a part of the Bill Riley lore, so we appreciate that. And then Jacob Campbell, thank you so much for keeping this going all year. You know, it's awesome that you're always sending us the emails and the updates and everything. And you're now part of the DWR family as well because you've kept this going. And it's really, it's pretty cool to us that you're willing to do that. So thank you. And also all the competitors. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are in this. It's great.
And speaking of which, Justin Parcher, are you there?
Ooh, free feet picks.
Hey.
Justin Parcher, where are you?
Yeah, foot picks.
Can you hear us? I can hear you, I think. Justin, you there?
Yes, I am.
There's Justin Parcher. There's our race winner right there. So I'm trying to think back. I don't know how many of these you've had over the years. We don't, our stat guy took the day off. But how'd it go?
It was great. Wasn't quite sure how fuel strategy was going to work out.
I never know for what it's worth.
Exactly. I mean, if I had a strategist like you, Sean.
No, that's what I'm saying. You don't need it.
Well, that makes two of us. But pitted one more time under caution with that long set of wave rounds and everything. And that gave me enough fuel to the end. Made it through a couple of little wrecks there after that restart. And then had to do a little bit of chicanery with Mr. Miller there.
Well, the chicanery was good. Now, the real chicanery, or lack thereof, came from Tyler Newitt at the very end. Did you see that coming?
I took that shortcut on the second to last lap because I knew you couldn't do it and make up the time on the very last lap. So he tried.
There was some strategy
but I got by him.
Nice. So you out Tyler.
Inside information I would have loved to have had earlier.
After 5 years of Blunder, you pick up a thing or two.
Well, you did awesome. I'm going to give you the slow clap.
Thank you.
But you deserve more applause than that. That was awesome racing. It was clean and fun.
I mean, I might have drove out of my mirror those last two laps, but
that's all right. Crossing the line like 3 abreast, definitely not enough room at Bathurst on the front straightaway for that. So it became a calamity, but it happened after the start finish, so it was pretty fun.
Justin, you obviously have a lot of support. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for the big win today?
Well, first I'd like to say hi to my family at home, but obviously Continental Tire putting this on.
The smart
choice in tires.
Tires, Sean.
For what you do.
Yeah,
it's
cross contacts.
It's the logical decision.
If you're going to buy tires and you're a smart person,
exactly,
you should buy Continentals.
You can fit that on a t-shirt.
Tires.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Justin, it's great seeing you. Thanks for coming out. And
thanks
good
for
luck
having
next
me.
week. And we got a couple questions in the chat room real quick. Are we doing this next week, Sean?
We are doing the world final. We're going to close out the year. Jacob and Justin, you've been part of this family that's been going on all year, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you guys have been hard at work all year. It all comes to a conclusion next Thursday, same time where we will be running the Riley Daytona prototype. I believe it is the Gen 2, the Goodyear. And it will be racing at Darlington, the famed oval in, is it South Carolina or North Carolina?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. And we're still confirming our guests, but if it's Thursday Night Blunder, there's a very sensible recent guest of ours that we could have on. We're working on some other guests that may or may not be featured in other episodes coming out very soon. So we should have some pretty cool hosts. And it'll feature Justin, I'm assuming.
Oh, definitely.
Mark Miller's always invited. Jacob Campbell, I assume you will be there. Tyler will be there. I'll be checked out, but I'll be present. And that's all I got, Ryan.
Yeah, contractually, I'll be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Contractually.
And, Continental Tire will be there.
They will.
For what you do 5 years ago. That was the slogan 5 years ago, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. No.
We have no oversight.
I
Awesome. Hey, real quick, fans, all the people that watch this in the chat room on YouTube, on Facebook, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. Also, the notes that you're sending us about the podcast, awesome. If you're sending it to me directly, I screen grab it and I send it to Sean. So we appreciate the feedback, the notes. Jeff Westfall sent me a note about Max Angelelli, and he was like, it was all right. And then the next 20 messages I got were like, Max Angelelli is amazing. So suck it, Jeff Westfall.
Yeah.
But thank you to all you guys for the awesome, the support. You're buying Continentals. You're supporting us. You're participating in this, listening to the podcast. We are so grateful for that.
Yep, and keep it going. Let them know how much
please.
you appreciate this. Twitter is always very welcome. Instagram, Continental really loves them. Instagram Continental posts. So if you're on the Instagram, send some Continental love, saying how much you love the involvement with our stuff. If you're not on Instagram, maybe it's time you start.
And with that, Continental's got the check.
Sure.